Today on the channel, it's the return of the Kyle Peterson Top 5 with a special Halloween-themed Top 5 list today as I count down my 5 favorite Mattel WWE zombie figures. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Kyle Peterson's Top 5 Countdown list. A Thursday staple on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell, because every Thursday I'm counting down a Top 5 list. And today, for Halloween, we're doing a Mattel WWE Zombies countdown. And maybe some of you guys remember the Zombies Mattel line. Maybe some of you guys forgot. But in 2016, we had a series. 2017, we had a series. And then the final series, 2018, for about 20 total zombie WWE figures over that time frame. Really mixed bag with those. Some collectors liked them. Some, probably the majority, were indifferent. And then some absolutely hated them. Vote with your wallet. You can pick them up if you want to. Don't if you don't. I played a little of that old patented Kyle Peterson long game, and I picked all these up fairly cheap on clearance. They really weren't the hardest figures to get. They were all over the pegs at Walmart, especially back in the day. Just up till about a year ago, I still saw some zombies left over from 2018 line, if you can believe that, in some of the off-the-beaten-path stores that I traveled in my travels. But an interesting dynamic. Zombie mania, of course, the last 10 years has really swept the country. A lot of zombie movies, a lot of zombie TV shows, the Walking Deads of the world, stuff like that. I've loved zombies for a long time, the Day of the Dead, the Dawn of the Dead, all that stuff, watching it when I was much younger. I don't watch a lot of movies, but I watch a lot of horror movies. I was always into that kind of stuff. As you guys can imagine, the collector I am, that's what I was into. So I was all for these zombie figures when they came out. But like I said, I played a little of that long game because I knew these wouldn't be for everybody. And when these zombies went away, we got some of the retros. Mattel has always kind of done some different things. We got the retros in their place. We've got the Masters of WWE figures. We got those Mattel fashion Barbie doll type wrestling figures of the female figures. We got the female superstars figures. There's been a lot of sublines over the years. Mattel throwing darts to see what sticks, and that's what any company does. Because one thing I preach all the time in my day job is new items are only new once, and new items help move the business forward. You always have to have new items on the shelf all the time. Gain trial, see what sticks, what's going to be the next popular item, because if you don't change, guess what? You get left behind. That's what happens. That's why you see companies like Mondelez or Nabisco for you older folk out there. But you see a new Oreo on the shelf all the time. Why? Because they know people will try it at least once, then they move on to something different. But it might be really popular and it sticks as an everyday flavor. That goes on all over the place, including toy lines. And the zombie line, fairly successful for it to get a series 3 consecutive years in a row. Some figures are amazing, some were a bit of hot garbage, but they kind of go and ebb and flow like any other line does. But I figured today, because we're in the Halloween season, be a perfect time to count down my 5 favorite Mattel zombies of all time. So as usual, get your list together, put it down in the comments, and let's kick it off with Mattel zombies. Who came in at number 5? All right, let's kick it off at number 5 in the Zombies countdown. So my 5th favorite Mattel zombie figure of all time. We're going to the female variety, and there was only 2 females in the zombie line. And it was in Series 1, we got Paige. In Series 3, who did we get? We got Charlotte Flair. Yes, Charlotte Flair. Let me put her on a ringside collectible stand. Charlotte Flair, probably the gold standard for female figures, or female wrestlers, I should say. I don't know about figures. That's Rio, of course. But female wrestlers out there. Charlotte Flair came into Series 3 in 2018. Series 3 is a very strong series for the zombie line, and this Charlotte Flair was awesome. A lot of people that didn't buy the zombie figures bought this figure just to take this robe off and use it for customization, stuff like that. But what I like about this one, and it's going to be a theme throughout this video, is the colors on this. A lot of times we got a lot of zombies that were pretty plain Jane, just basically grayish green scale figures. This one had a little bit extra to it. It had the robe going on, the peacock feathers, crazy look at her face and her hair with the dirty washes and stuff like that. But also very toyetic gear. Very cool wrestling gear for her that really makes it pop. Just a very, very strong Charlotte Flair figure in general. You take away, if you gave her a normal head scan on here and you brightened up her skin and turned it the correct color, people could make an easy custom out of this Charlotte Flair. It is a very, very good figure. Definitely probably the sleeper of the zombie line as a whole, as we didn't get a ton of detail. Some figures did, a lot did not, and this one they went over above with, and like a lot of female figures we see out there, this one was pretty hard peg warmer and was the peg warmer of Series 3. But from the instance I saw it, I knew this one was a strong one, and that's why it comes in at number 5 on my top zombie countdown. All right, we've come to the number 4 spot, and number 4, we're back to Series 3. It's really that Series 3 line really took those zombies to absolute perfection, and that's where the line died, unfortunately. But Series 3, Finn Balor, I guess we'd call it the Demon. Let me put him on a ringside stand. I guess we'd call him the Demon, but this is a fairly interesting one. And the reason I like this one a lot is you got your typical zombie, damage, stuff like that, but he's got spikes on his arm. He's got a hole in his back. And then you get the demon chest, face paint, all that kind of stuff. But then he has no neck, so he has a thin spine going up there. Just cool, creepy, I don't know about nostalgia, but creepy look to this one with the spine going through up to the head, the half of the jaw missing. Just very zombie-esque. I mean, this is really extra detail. One and done molding done for this one. There was a lot of love placed in this one, and it makes a lot of sense to put Demon Finn Balor in the zombie line. It's one of those figures, or one of those wrestlers you would consider at the time saying, oh yeah, he should be in the zombie line. That makes a lot of sense out there. And of course, Finn Balor, the Demon, being one of my favorite current wrestlers. I was here for this all day. And I just think this one just stands out so much on the shelf, just with that bone there and the kind of a floating head it almost looks like. So I like this one a lot. I'm glad this one was a part of the collection in Series 3, as we didn't get him in Series 1 or 2, and I thought we wouldn't get him at all, and luckily we did, like I said, in Series 3. So pretty toyetic looking, pretty creepy looking. I think a lot of people would have this one on their top 5 list, and that's why he comes in for me at number 4. All right, we're at the halfway point. We're at the number 3. Make sure you get your list together. Go through. Wrestling Figure Database is the place to look. You can find all kinds of lists, all kinds of checklists. I get a lot of people asking me all the time, do you have a checklist for these figures? That is where I pinpoint them to. Wrestling Figure Database. You got to go there. Very easy to find. Just Google it, and you can find a checklist for anything, including these zombies. And I'd like to hear your top 5 lists, so put it in the comments down below. But at number 3 for me, WWE Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats, even if I liked him more when he was a little bit more stunning. And where am I going with this? Of course, we're going to Steve Austin. Couldn't deny the toyability, the collectability, the coolness of this figure. That's why he's at number 3 for me. But we got Stone Cold Steve Austin Zombie from Wave 2 from 2017 of the Zombie line. So very cool. You get the Stone Cold vest here. Once again, much like that Charlotte Flair, there was people buying this just to take this vest off of this one, which was always interesting. The cool thing I always thought about this one was the left hand, how the forearm is eaten away, pure bone on the hand there. It's just a bone hand. Very interesting how his pinky is up, though. It's like he's drinking some tea or something with his pinky up. That's always strange to me. I don't know if it's supposed to be like kind of his middle finger, but obviously you can't put a middle finger up on a child's toy, so that's kind of what it's supposed to be. If you turn it around, it almost looks like a middle finger, a little bit of smoke and mirrors there. I don't know if that's the case, but then he does have his knee braces on. A lot like a typical Stone Cold Basic, but then you get to inside the vest, his stomach is hollowed out. He's been eaten in between the middle there. You got his guts hanging out, just very gory, very gross. And then you get to the head, and this is one we didn't see with any of the other ones, where it's just a pure skull. And it makes sense. Stone Cold Steve Austin, skull logos all the time on all of his merchandise. So it makes sense to give him just a skull for a head and not his head being decayed or whatever. I think that is really cool. Interesting, he has the smoke coming out of his eyes. Smoking skull, I guess, is what that would be. But just really toyetic. And then the right hand is just totally normal. But this one really does pop off the shelf. A lot of people love Stone Cold Steve Austin, obviously. One of the greats of all time. One of the most popular wrestlers, if not the most popular. And I know a lot of people have him on their Mount Rushmore of wrestlers of all time. So this one is definitely a popular one in the grand scheme of the zombie world. And I wouldn't doubt a lot of you guys probably have this on your top 5 list out there. But you guys leave me the list down below, like I always say. But number 3 for me, Stone Cold Steve Austin Zombie Edition. All right, we're to the final 2. Where's this going to net out? There might be some surprises here. There might not be some surprises here. But we're down to the final 2. And the final 2, We start with Series 3 once again. Series 3, the best set of zombies by far, if you ask me. They had a lot different looks to them compared to Series 1 and 2. A lot of those guys had the same aesthetics going on across the board, where Series 3, we got a little extra color in there. A little bit more akin to what I would imagine zombies to be in the WWE Universe is what we got in Series 3, and that's where number 2 comes from. And you guys know me, I'm a sucker about this type of figure, so you probably will know where this is going. But number 2 for me is Kane. You knew Kane had to be in the zombie line. There's no way you could have the zombie line without Kane. But guess what? Big figure, big figure, masked wrestler, sign me up all day long. You guys know how I go, and Kane was built for this line. I love the red gnawed-off bloody arm he's got going on there with the bone, plus the gloved hand, of course, with the blood. Then you got the Kane-type outfit going on. The greenish, palish skin, that lets you know that, hey, this is a zombie, not just some monster. But then he's got basically the melted face. It's just like a meat. It almost looks like something out of the Hellraiser movie. He's got the meat face going on, but his mask is over that, covering it. Just a lot of good, gory details in this one. Pretty crazy. These are kids' toys marketed at kids, because this kind of stuff is a bit nightmare-inducing to little kids out there, especially with the blood and the gore and stuff like that. It's really taking it up a notch, but I'm glad they did something like this. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but a lot of people bring these out every kind of Halloween and have these as part of their Halloween decorations, and then they put them away. I have these just on display every day, but I'm not opposed to, in the future, maybe just busting these zombies out for Halloween displays. My wife, she loves decorating for every holiday. You know, the Halloween decorations come out about 1st of September, and then November 1st is when the Christmas trees go up. You know, she usually puts 3 Christmas trees up in the house. So I need to start decorating with some of my stuff too, if she's going to get after it, shouldn't I? You know, I got the basement to myself. I got my office where I work. The rest of the house, she does whatever she wants. She gets the bathrooms, the living rooms, the formal living rooms, the formal dining rooms. She gets to decorate all that. The outside of the house, whatever she wants to do. I just get my little space of the world, and works out real good. But I might start encroaching with some of these come the holiday season. I don't know. But Kane, very strong, built for this line, very toyetic. Absolutely love the looks of this one, and that's why Kane is at number 2. And now, got to get the drum roll. If I had a drummer over here, he'd be hitting that old drum roll. But we're down to it. What is the number 1 zombie of all time as voted by me? Well, let's check it out. All right, we're at the number 1 spot. Any guesses who's number 1 in my zombie countdown? Do you got your list together? Have you put it in the comments? I'm waiting. Get it done. Okay, let's get after it. Number 1 on my zombie countdown is a bit of a surprise, a bit of a sleeper. I'm guessing most of you guys would not count this one, but there's reasons for it, and we're going to explain it. But number 1 for me comes once again from Zombie Series 3 from 2018. We're looking at Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes, Shinsuke Nakamura. I love how this one looks. Now, this one is perfect. As we all know, Shinsuke takes a lot of his mannerisms and his moves from Michael Jackson. I'd be lying if I said I had any Michael Jackson in my collection. Outside of his duet with Paul McCartney, That Girl Is Mine, from one of the early 80s albums from Paul McCartney. You know, if you're a Paul McCartney completionist, you have to have a little Michael Jackson because he's duetting on some songs. But besides that, Michael Jackson never did anything for me. Growing up in the 80s, the 90s, his music was on MTV all the time. Did absolutely nothing for me. Obviously, you know the kind of music I like. I like King Diamond. That's my kind of music. Michael Jackson, not so much. But I'll tell you, that Thriller video was cool, but it was also not cool because I'd be watching MTV and then I said, oh great, there goes 20 minutes of no heavy metal videos or rock video or something I want to see. I knew that, okay, might as well go away for 20 minutes because this is a long video. So there was that as a kid. But this is an iconic Shinsuke Nakamura as far as he's dressed in Michael Jackson's Thriller outfit here. I just think that is so cool. That is so smart from the Mattel team to take Shinsuke, who's got a lot of Michael Jackson influences, taking that Thriller outfit, putting it on him, making him a zombie. If you guys saw that Thriller, you know, there was all the zombies and stuff in there. So it makes sense. It really does write itself, and kudos to Mattel for going all out to do that, and that's why I like this one the most. He also looks the most zombie-esque. Like, when you imagine zombies, sometimes you imagine, like, Finn Balor missing half of his jaw. You miss guys, like, are all bloody and stuff. But when I kind of think zombies, the look on Shinsuke's face here is basically what I think of. Really kind of a droopy face, going out, having to like slobber coming off the side. This is what I think of when I think of the zombie, and not just Shinsuke, but zombies in general. And then you throw the Michael Jackson red jumpsuit on here, and knowing Shinsuke's background as being a Michael Jackson fan, it just all came together. The stars aligned in this figure, and that's why he's number one for me. Just a really, really cool tongue-in-cheek look at the zombie line. And zombie line, a moment in history, I don't think these figures are worth a ton. I don't know how hard they are to track down in this day and age. Some are better than others. I will say there should be an asterisk on this one, as if you guys saw some of the images back in the day, there was going to be a Hulk Hogan figure released. Then he had the big falling out, his scandal, all that kind of stuff. So it did get scrapped. But if that would have been released, as we saw that prototype, there's no doubt in my mind that would have been number one. Shinsuke would have moved to 2, as it was classic Hulk Hogan. But this wrote itself, much like Shinsuke here in the Michael Jackson. This one was Hulk Hogan, and I'll put the picture up here. But instead of ripping his shirt, he's ripping his guts out. How cool is that? That would be the ultimate Halloween direction. So a little asterisk here. If that was actually released, that would have been number one. But it was not officially released, so it's not on my list. But boy, if it was, I think a lot of Hulkamaniacs would have that in their collection. You'd have that on a lot of Halloween displays. It's just a shame that figure never saw the light of day. I would love to see Mattel Creations. They still have that prototype and stuff. They're selling stuff. We've seen it with Masters of the Universe. We've seen it with some other things out there. Let's release that zombie one. 2022 Halloween special one-off zombie figure of that Hulk Hogan. Let's make that happen. What's stopping you? Mattel, let's get after it. Do it for your boy Kyle. I'd love to see that Hulk Hogan see the light of day one day. So there it is, the top 5 zombie countdown in honor of Halloween, of course. What do you guys think? What is your top 5 zombies? Go through the list. Like I said, Wrestling Figure Database. You can see Series 1, 2, 3. Take a look at them if you don't own them. And then put your list down below. Which one would you like as your best? Which one is your worst at number 5? I'm interested to hear where you guys go with this one. Something a little different here, but I felt like it fit the Halloween season, so it makes all the sense in the world to me. So there it is. So make sure you give me a comment. Make sure you like this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media at SirPaul64. Follow me on Instagram at _Kyle_Peterson, ProWrestlingTees.com. Of course, search Kyle Peterson. And we'll be back next Thursday with another top 5 countdown. So for all of the zombies, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.